The Rwandan Genocide of 1994 was a catastrophic result of long-standing tensions between two ethnic communities, the Hutus and the Tutsis. Although these communities had coexisted for centuries, historical events, colonial influence, and political strife ultimately led to one of the most devastating genocides in modern history. Historically, Rwanda was ruled by the Tutsi minority, who constituted less than 15% of the population, while the Hutus made up about 85%. Despite the Tutsi minority ruling over the Hutu majority, there were few recorded conflicts in the pre-colonial period, indicating a relatively peaceful coexistence. This balance persisted even during the early colonial period under German rule. However, after World War I, when Rwanda came under Belgian control, the dynamic changed drastically. The Belgians implemented a divide-and-rule strategy, favoring the Tutsis for administrative roles and education, which sowed seeds of resentment among the Hutus. The situation worsened after World War II, as Rwanda, like many other African nations, started to push for independence. Initially, the Tutsis led the fight for independence due to their dominance in the colonial administration. However, Belgium shifted its support to the Hutus, who began to receive better education and increased political participation from the 1950s onwards. This shift emboldened the Hutus to challenge the Tutsi dominance. In 1957, the Hutus launched a campaign against Tutsi dominance, which erupted into violent attacks in 1959. This period of violence led to the overthrow of the Tutsi monarchy and the establishment of a Hutu-led republic. The 1960 elections solidified Hutu power with a Hutu president, leading to further marginalization and persecution of Tutsis. Many Tutsis fled to neighboring countries like Uganda and Burundi to escape the oppression. The Hutu government remained harsh toward the Tutsis, and a military coup in 1973 led to a dictatorial regime that did little to alleviate the Tutsi plight. Tutsi exiles in Uganda formed the Rwandan Patriotic Front, RPF, and launched a civil war in 1990, aiming to return to Rwanda. Despite a peace deal for power sharing, tensions remained high and implementation failed. In 1993, the assassination of Burundi's Hutu president, widely celebrated by Tutsis in Rwanda, exacerbated ethnic tensions. The situation escalated dramatically on April 6, 1994, when the Rwandan president's plane was shot down, killing both the Rwandan and Burundian presidents. This incident triggered the genocide, as Hutu extremists used it as a pretext to initiate mass killings of Tutsis and moderate Hutus. Hutu leaders meticulously planned the genocide, mobilizing military, police, and militia groups to execute their plans. Civilians were also incited to participate in the killings, which targeted Tutsis and those suspected of being Tutsi sympathizers. Roadblocks were set up to intercept and kill fleeing Tutsis. In just 3 months, approximately 800,000, 1 million people were brutally murdered. If you like these videos, remember to smash that like and subscribe button. The Catholic Church in Rwanda was a witness to the atrocities of genocide. 1 million Rwandans died in 100 days, while many Catholic priests and nuns stood by offering no assistance. Others participated in the slaughter. The majority of those killed were killed in churches or on church grounds. Since Belgium's acquisition of Rwanda, there have been ties between the Catholic Church and the government of Rwanda. The Catholic Church blamed Belgium for the ethnic class designations and for disturbing the native culture. The church and priests, however, remained silent and maintained their silence in order to keep teaching and practicing in Rwanda. While over 60,000 were charged in connection with the genocide, imprisoned for hate crimes and later released, fewer than 20, including priests and nuns, were tried and sentenced. The international community largely failed to intervene effectively also. The United Nations, African Union, and neighboring countries remained passive, and peacekeepers were withdrawn after some were killed. The genocide continued until the Rwanda Patriotic Front, led by Paul Kagame, defeated the Hutu forces and took control of the country. Rwanda Patriotic Front chased the Hutu-dominated army and militias over the border into Zaire, now the Democratic Republic of Congo, which prompted an estimated 2 million panicked Hutus to follow them, creating one of the greatest humanitarian crises in modern African history. The Rwandan genocide's immediate impact was catastrophic, with about 10% of the population killed. The country's economy was devastated, with an almost 50% drop in the country's gross domestic product and social fabric torn apart. The genocide also had international repercussions, disrupting trade in countries that depended on Rwanda for coffee and causing political instability in the region. The root causes of the genocide can be traced back to colonial manipulation and ethnic favoritism, which bred deep-seated resentment and division. Both internal factors, such as the political machinations of Hutu extremists, and external influences, such as colonial policies and regional conflicts, played critical roles in leading to the genocide. Reconciliation efforts in Rwanda have served as a model to others. The process have enabled Rwandans to close a chapter of their history and write a new one, collectively deciding to move forward and to rebuild their society. This included Hutu stepping up and talking about their own personal truths, understanding what they did to their neighbors and friends were wrong, and that they were misled by their own leaders, to constructing the Rwanda identity as well as balancing justice, truth, peace, and security with the Constitution, now stating that all Rwandans have equal rights. Additionally, the Catholic Church in Rwanda has acknowledged the role played by individual clergy and church members during the genocide, emphasizing that while the church did not send priests or members to kill, some of its members planned, aided, and executed the genocide, notably the Nyarubuye and the Saint Famille Catholic churches. In conclusion, fellow time travelers, as we reflect over our cup of tea and coffee, the Rwandan genocide was a tragic consequence of historical grievances, colonial legacy, and political manipulation. It serves as a stark reminder of the devastating effects of ethnic hatred and the importance of reconciliation and unity in preventing such atrocities in the future. Rwanda have become a model for truth and reconciliation to others. Share your thoughts below on the Rwandan genocide. Hit that notification bell. Like and subscribe for more on A Cup of History.